popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Skippy the Bebop and Christopher Reeves. Hey, everybody, it's Brandon Collins.
This is Justin Brown.
And we are meeting popcorn niggas spoiling movies. And we spoiling something that you probably... You should just listen to this review. You don't have to watch this movie. Like, we saved you. You understand the shit that we do for this podcast? We sacrifice our time.
No. Brandon, don't do that.
This
show is about shared trauma. Okay? It's about shared trauma. We want you to share in the trauma of Karen with us. So see this movie and tell us what you think. Because this is one for the ages. This is gonna rock the bedrock.
Remember,
of your
listeners,
life.
Brandon is trying to save y'all. Justin just wants to see the world burn at this point.
Yes.
Coke Daniels, who wrote and directed this. I know this is for BET Original Movies or BET Plus.
BET Plus. It should be BET. Drop the plus. BET dog shit. It's just trash.
I mean,
pure
they're not
trash.
going to do that, Justin. It's not marketable.
Well, you know what? BT isn't marketable.
That's terrible.
It's not. It's trash. It's trash. They've been putting out trash from the time.
The Game wasn't bad. Real Husbands of Hollywood wasn't bad.
Trash. BET is trash.
106 in Park?
Trash. Everything about BET is trash. I don't care. BET is trash. Fight me.
You're not giving any wiggle room? That's just...
Fight me.
Okay.
I do not support BET.
Well, that means this movie definitely didn't help. Because I think we were off to the races when we opened with Karen Drexler washing away a Black Lives Matter art mural.
Yeah. That's how we that's what we opened.
That's what we opened. I will say though, they were dropping F-bombs and shit, right? Not one white person said nigger. And all the hatred between Karen and her brother towards black people.
That is true.
I was very, especially with the ancestors on the walls from the South and shit. Okay.
This is set in Georgia.
I've never seen such over-the-top racism. Like, what did she think was going to happen when he went into that bathroom?
Well,
she had a Confederate flag soap dispenser.
Yeah, she was just like,
how down
he's gonna come out here. Maybe I want to get myself a little chocolate. No, what are you doing?
You know how down with the cause you are that you like wash your hands in slavery.
Yeah.
You literally that's wild.
I'm gonna wash my hands today for the good old boys. What's going on?
Also, okay, I and Tatiana pointed this out a lot too. With the HOA, the Homeowners Association that Karen runs, she's talking about, there's this new black couple that moved in, and I really want to talk about them, because they're not dropping off the trash in the right days, and the husband was smoking marijuana in his private car on his private property, and I was still being a bitch to him. But she doesn't say that last part, the part I whispered, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if you're the president of the HOA, shouldn't you know about the new couples moving in? Like, shouldn't she have known about the kid that's dad is the civil rights lawyer? If she read the manual front and back, she should know everyone who lives in her community.
But she probably just doesn't understand. She probably doesn't know whose kid that is. You know what I'm saying? She probably knows because she wasn't on his block. He wasn't on their block.
That's right. Because the black couple was the first black couple in their block in their area. Not saying there's no black people in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the Asian neighbor, she knew what time it was from scene one with Karen. Why was she trying to act like, oh, Karen, you don't really mean that? Like, she literally, you looking at the way that she's looking at this black couple. Mm-hmm. That's not a friendly, hey, neighbor. It's like, she's like, what the fuck are these N-words doing here? They're looking at my terrible wig, probably making jokes of me.
Yo, she looked like a fucking skeleton.
Tara Manning was not doing well in this movie. I don't know if she purposely was going for this sickly kind of witch look. There was nothing that made her seem like an endearing mom.
She looked like the girl from Orphan.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, she looked like a girl from Orphan, but worse.
But it's so
all grown up.
Justin, this movie is so crazy. The son comes over, the 17-year-old son comes over, plays with the husband, right?
And that was a very awkward situation.
And they're talking. First of all, I felt kind of weird. The actors played that scene a little weird.
Yeah,
and then
it's like husband is just like, "Hey man, I see you with that boy. Want to fuck? Wait, no, but not really. But seriously, want to fuck?"
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, let me know when you got a game, man. I'll come and see you." And then I'm like, maybe he's trying to do this because he knows the kid lost his dad, but there's something weird going on. Like this white kid's kind of being like, "Hey, a brother can teach me how to play ball." Mm-hmm. And then when that little girl came over after her mom had pushed over the trash, like, first of all, Jasmine Brooke, who plays Imani, she knew what time. They have cameras. They had cameras installed. She should have been able to see it. Karen's the one that kicked it over. She's like, damn straight dogs. I'm like,
bitch, you just got a whole camera system installed. Just look at it.
There are no stray dogs. Like, this is crazy. And then so the little girl comes over to help her. They were struggling to put that trash back. It was really weird. And then she's like, I have a boyfriend. We haven't done nothing. This girl's like 6, right?
She's not 6. I would say she's about maybe 8 or 9.
Okay, so she's 8 or 9, and she's talking to Jasmine. She's like, "Yeah, I have a boyfriend. We haven't done anything. He's black." And then Imani's like, "Does your mom know?" And she's like, "Oh goodness, no."
She don't like black people. She's like, "Well, I'm black." She's like, "Yeah, she don't like you."
That was a great scene.
Ooh, boy.
There were 2 great moments. That was one of them, and the other one was the friend that Karen got kicked out of the restaurant.
Yes,
that later came
Justice.
That later ended up being like one of Malik's friends or whatever. And when he says, "Yo, your neighbor is a Karen," who's literally named Karen. It's like God knew she was going to be evil.
Yeah.
That was a great line.
It was.
Only good line in this god-awful script.
Yeah. They gave this girl a haircut and everything. She's wild.
I saw that movie. What was the movie we watched with Power and remember the police station? American Skin.
Oh, yeah.
I thought American Skin was very much like hitting you over the head with the themes. No, this movie not only hit you over the head with the themes, it then proceeded to put its themes in your mouth and your eyes while you were unconscious, just to embed it further into your DNA.
So first of all, this script is horrendous. This dialogue may be some of the worst dialogue I've seen in a film ever. Now, first of all, I want to start with the husband who...
He's terrible. That acting is really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, all the acting is bad.
No, but he is something... Hold on. The dialogue, hold on. We got to talk about it. It's like, beautiful black woman. Beautiful with your black skin and your blackness. I'm like, bitch, shut up.
Yeah, Malik said... I mean, Corey Hardwick or whatever, he was crazy in this movie. But I don't think he gives the worst performance in the movie. I think that goes to the brother.
Oh, yeah.
Karen's brother, that officer, that's some of the worst acting I've seen my entire life.
And you know what?
I've seen thousands of movies. That's one of the, I would say, top 7.
And the reason why it's so bad, because being racist is actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's actually rather liberating to go on set and say all the most fucked up things that you want to say, because it's no. Listen to me.
I would say maybe not if like you're doing Django Unchained, like Leo like struggle with that. Like you got monologues where you just dropping M-bombs and saying I'm gonna kill this woman and like
the nigga.
And while you're drinking a coconut, like he's like, Quentin, I got a lot of things to process for this character. Give me a second.
No, but like his role is just like pure anger and fury.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying, and he
plays it so bad,
bro. Sometimes I wish is like I could be a white actor, because if you're a white actor, I'd get so many roles. But 2 is just like be a white actor and be able to play a role like this, because you can literally go out there and be so transparently the thing that everybody hates, and it would sell. And it's easy. For me, I think that it's easy to play the villain because you know all the things that people don't like and you do them, right? Mm-hmm. Why couldn't this guy tap into anything that anybody didn't like or likes? He was just this middle ground of just raw fucking sewage. His acting was atrocious.
It's so bad. He should have been fired, and I'd never want anyone to lose their job. But like Roger Doorman, you should never ever act. And if you listen to this and you have a problem with what I just said, come and find me, motherfucker, because I will tell you what time it is. I will sit you down and duct tape you to the couch in my basement and make you watch your performance and tell you all the dog shit things you did as your technique. Because when he was angry, I didn't believe it. When he was supposed to be like a caring brother, didn't believe it. When he was just being plain insane, didn't believe it. He was like, I'm part of the brotherhood. I was like, nigga, that character was also terribly written because
100%.
Okay, there's no way, even with the white privilege that was supposed to be displayed in this movie, there's no way that Karen, her brother, would be able to get away with half the shit they did. Because the fact that she kept calling her brother, who is a cop, who also has racist complaints against him, like, first of all, he should have been suspended. Karen would be sued. She wouldn't just get dropped from the HOA board as the president. She'd be having all kinds of charges against her, too, by that kid, right? And then, you know, this couple, at the end of the day, they can sue the shit out of this neighborhood.
Oh, no, they sued the entire city.
Yeah, that's
that
why
apartment is gone.
Yeah, that's why the neighborhood, she's at the end, she's the president of the HOA. I'm like, yeah, because the HOA didn't want that smoke. They were like,
yes.
Well, they're like, they're going to sue the city and us because we let fucking Karen go Karen. They knew what time it was. They knew she was crazy from... Well, I mean, she's just crazy.
The moment she started bringing up this black couple, they all just like...
The vitriol in her voice and her raspy, weird, bird-like voice. She looked like Tweety Bird if Tweety Bird just went like a dark way.
You mean like a dark way as in copious amounts of drugs and alcohol?
Maybe. I mean, Tara Manning does struggle with that, I think.
Does she?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, she has a head.
She's got a lot of... I think she also... There's some stuff that she said about... I think people in Orange is the New Black, and she was assaulted, like a bunch of crazy stuff. I don't know if it's true or not, and so I'm not going to go down that road.
Fair enough.
But this is not a good... To know where she started, which was like in Crossroads with Britney Spears and Zoe Saldana, to like now see where she's at in her career and Zoe Saldana, you're like... Like, based on the way that Hollywood would play things, you wouldn't think that their career trajectories would go the way they do.
Well, I mean, if you...
Because Zoe Saldana's been in the top 2 films of all time.
So, you really have to look at it like this, Brandon. You could either go Britney Spears' way or you go Zoe Saldana way. Yeah. And she decided, it's just like...
I'm going to go down the middle.
Yeah. No. It was just like, I'm going to lean towards Britney's career, a later career. So, like, maybe she was just like, I'm going to lean towards Britney because she's obviously the brighter star. But then things started changing. She was just like, Britney will make a comeback. Let's go down.
Now, here's the thing. This movie's supposed to take place essentially during the pandemic because at one point... the wife
it's after the pandemic,
but the wife is like, well, we're still in the pandemic.
Yes, because
she's like,
there's modern day.
Yeah, because she's like, there's pandemics and stuff. So that means George Floyd happened, right?
Yes. So
my whole thing is, even like in a neighborhood where apparently there are black people, it's not like they see like a Negro and they're like, oh my God, a Negro. When they're at that restaurant, right? And the two brothers are like laughing, having a good time or whatever. And she goes to them like, if you don't comply, I'll tell the manager. I'm like, if other people heard her say that to these black men who were dressed up in suits, by the way, it's not like they're like fucking looking like thugs and shit. Not that you can't wear a hoodie and fucking baggy jeans and Timbs and stuff like, and not have to be harassed. And so I'm like, no one around here is like, yo, you can't talk to people like that. Like, this isn't 1962.
Yep. Well, also the fact is, I wonder what she said to management to be able to get them kicked out of there. Because she had to say something crazy.
Well, I mean, that's what a Karen does. They escalate things to the point where you're like, that's not even true.
Yeah, no, but what
she's just smirking inside.
What did she say to management to get them to kick them out of? Because they said, hey, you guys got to go.
Yeah, I really didn't get it because
like they'd have to be doing something that's absolutely deplorable for somebody in a restaurant manager come over here like, hey guys, you're no longer welcome here. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. They'd have to be doing some fucking wild shit. So I want to know what she fucking said because I want to say that about white people. And we need to learn the tricks.
Yeah, that's right. I know how to complain about some shit and get some discounts or some free stuff.
Yeah, but that's different. But we're talking about getting people ejected out of a restaurant, bro.
True.
That's some next level shit.
You know, I've called out racism at like places I've gone to though, right? Like, so I remember I used to go to this place called Sparrow Tavern in Astoria, Queens, right? And one night I went and I had like two bartenders that like I always knew, like, and it is a very white bar. Like you've seen it. It's like, like the hipster kind of grungy hole in the wall, but it had good food, good like vibe, like when you were just chilling and have nothing to do on a Thursday night. And so I went, and this guy, this white dude, he was a new bartender and just was ignoring me the whole fucking night. I'm sitting at the bar. Like, it's not like I'm sitting at a table on the side. He doesn't have to, acknowledge me. And I'm just like, so I'm just not going to get a drink. And then I finally just left, and he's like, "Oh, you're leaving?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been like sitting down for 15 minutes like a douchebag.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna leave." And so I didn't go back to Sparrow for like at least a month or so. And then I finally went because I was coming back from a night out, and I just stopped by. I was like, "Oh, let me get a nightcap." And one of the bartenders I'm cool with, who's also the manager, she's like, "Hey, Brandon, I haven't seen you in a long time." And I was like, "Yeah, your new bartender, I don't know his name, but I described the white guy." I was like, he literally like ignored me for 15 minutes and made me feel like shit in my own neighborhood bar. Like, this is a place I go to frequently, and I just didn't feel welcome. So I left, and she's like, "I'm so sorry." Gave me free drinks the rest of the night. But there you go. I'm that's before all the shit with Black Lives Matter happened and stuff. I'm just trying to call that shit out more and more because
that shit happened to me when I was in fucking Detroit. Dude at the, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on the podcast. On the podcast, and I shouted out the security guard, the guy who handles all that shit, and like, because he called me about it, because I think I wrote to them about it initially, or I put it on, I tweeted about it because I was just, because it really pissed me off. It's like, 12-day show doing the Detroit Auto Show. Coming off that train, that trolley every single day, never had a problem. And then this one guy stops me. All my white coworkers is like, "I gotta check your bag. Where's your things?" Da 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 da. And wouldn't let me in. And then I'm like, "Yo, I'm with everybody else." And I had my work badge on me still. And it was like, and the only common denominator was I was the only black guy with everybody else.
Some places in New York are trying to do that bullshit with the COVID check thing. Mm-hmm. I went out, I believe Saturday, and I was going into this bar. Bouncer stopped me. He's like, "Hey, let me see your vaccine ID." The two white guys that were in there, like, they asked you for your stuff. I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "We just walked right in past that guy."
Yeah.
I was like, "Of course he did."
Yep.
Of course he did. But then Gordon Baker Bone came in. He's like, "Oh, nobody asked me for nothing." I was just like, maybe it's just me. Because Gordon looks like Knuckles incarnate. So he always looks like he's trying to steal Sonic's rigs. So he looks suspect as a motherfucker. Okay. And he's always wearing sweaters in the summer. He's fucking... Yeah. Gordon's a wild boy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like y'all know him like from coming in like here and there on episodes, but like Justin and I are friends with this dude. And he just every time I'm like, "Oh, Gordon's like hit peak Gordon." It's like, "Nah, nigga."
He cranks it up.
It's kind of like this movie Karen. It like went from 0 to 1,000 in less than 7 minutes.
And then it dialed back from 1,000 to 99, and then cranked it up to 1,000,000.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We hold on.
All right. Her son was a perv, right? Because he was just straight up watching them.
Listen,
fuck.
He's 17 years old.
Well, that's
he's 17 years old. I look out my window. I see some luscious black woman over there about to catch the pipe. Yeah, about to catch the pipe. Oh, I'm going to look.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I remember when I was a little kid, I saw my first pair of titties looking out of my window. We called that woman Titty Woman. And we would jump on the bed and watch her, the Titty Woman. Titty Woman, right across the street, Titty Woman. Yeah, big old areolas. And
y'all wonder why we're always just like, "Ooh, ladies." Because we grew up doing some stupid shit like that, yeah.
So, now mind you, Titty Woman, she was not very attractive. She was
she had titties.
But she had titties. First titties I ever seen not attached to a television screen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I gotta look at these titties. Now, if I look out my window and I see that woman,
Jasmine Burke. I'm doing more than just peeping.
Oh, I'd be like, Mom is just like, well, I forgot what her son's name was. I've been like, Mom, you can't come in now. I'm busy doing homework. Yeah, I'm working all right.
I would have put Denny from the room and been like, "Can I join you guys?" I would have been creepy. I mean, bro,
you jumped right in the bed.
That's the only positive thing about watching this movie was Jasmine Burke had some of the. She just looks so delicious in every scene, and I'm just
I also was like, why was she in full makeup in bed at all times? I was just like, come on, guys.
Another thing about her character lined up because one. After they have sex because they're trying to get pregnant, she immediately goes to take a pregnancy test, and she's like, "Oh, it's negative." I'm like, "That's how those things work."
Yeah.
But then also, she's asking all the wrong questions. Like her husband gets arrested with a weed plant on him by Karen's brother, right? Mm-hmm. She's like, "See, you shouldn't have been smoking weed." It's like, that's not the problem right now. I got a felony charge because this nigga's blackmailing me.
Well, also, it's just like...
You're getting mad at the wrong things.
What I was smoking was something different from the pound of weed that this motherfucker just pulled out of our trunk.
That was an obnoxious bag of...
He was just like, what's this? Nobody carries that much weed on him.
Well, also, how did it just come out his sleeve? Like, he was just walking around with this pound of something weed?
Well, I mean, that's how cops... They put weed on you, but then
it was so over the top. Like he essentially just needed a longer mustache to twirl. Like that's how insane his caricature of this villain was. And then now that new cop would have taken him down.
What's that?
That new cop would have taken him down.
Oh yeah.
Like that was just for the story, but it's like if you're legit seeing that, like you're like no, like he's blatantly like racist and beating people up.
Yeah, I mean it's.
That whole thing with the kids. I was like, how does this nigga still have a job in this office?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and the fact is, like, they have her on camera calling her brother to come here. They're threatening me, yada. And then
he comes and tunes them up.
Yeah, he tunes the kids up, and then they arrest them. I mean, it's like this. Is nobody even going to check where this kid lives or anything? You know what I'm saying? So like that, the way that went down, like, yes, that does happen. Mm-hmm. It does happen to us. And like, cause something like that happened to me. Mm. But at the same time, I didn't get arrested. I didn't get it because there are certain protocols they have there's certain things that typically have to happen before it even gets to that point. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, why would those kids wait around?
Yeah, I would just walk by this woman.
Yeah, I would just kept on walking. Like black people, we're smarter than that because we know it's like some crazy white woman's being crazy and white. You're just like, yeah, okay, whatever, white bitch, and just keep on thumping around. Mm-hmm. You're like, you ain't gonna stand there and wait for the police to show up because you know it's gonna be her word against yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. See, and that's the thing though about this movie. It's like niggas was not acting like niggas in this film.
That's why it's like it's trying to trigger you. It's trying to rile you up, but it's just so hand over fist. And just like over the top that you're like, okay, the nuance isn't there. So like these themes are just cartoonish at this point.
When he walks in the house after
with the
smoking
kente
weed,
cloth?
No.
That's the housewarming party. That was crazy.
Oh, the fucking the what's it called, the scarf?
Yeah, that
was wild. I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? You got the Nation of Islam nigga next to him named Justice. It was like I was like, what is happening right now? We're wearing a fucking bow tie and handing out bean pies. So he starts spraying all this cologne himself and was like, my nigga. Do you not think it's like so? Your wife is just like if he was smoking weed or he was fucking another woman. Like, what are you doing, bro? Which one do you want?
None of the characters were good. Like the husband did some terrible, stupid stuff. I mean, the fact that why did he go into Karen's house? He lives next door.
Yeah, wash your hands at your house, nigga.
She's like, oh, you can take off your shirt because at first I was like, oh. Tati said, "Oh, like Karen wants to fuck him." I'm like, "No, she doesn't. She wouldn't even shake his hand." And then she's looking at him, and I'm like,
you know, the racist white women want to taste that jungle dick."
That's what Tati said.
Yeah,
she's like, they'll be racist as fuck, but they like secretly want the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with these dudes that want to.
They want you to fuck the hate out of them or something.
No, it's not fuck the hate out of them. They just want to experience what it's like because they're afraid of what they don't know. And that's what the hate stems from. But then they want to taste it, so then they could be like, well, I mean, let me not say I'm in the minds of these fucking people, why they're so fucked up. But like, you have a lot of dudes who are racist, but then they fuck black women. But it's all about the power dynamic. But if he fucked her, right, then she will break them up, and now they're gonna go away.
Yeah.
Right. They're gonna get divorced. Somebody's not gonna be able to afford that house, and now she has no have to.
Oh yeah, because she was all curious about like their finances and stuff like that. I'm like, woman. First of all, you should probably have that information if you're president of the HOA, but whatever.
No, she wouldn't have that.
Well, you need to make sure that people can afford the fee, right?
No. It has nothing to do with that. They're basically making sure that everybody's house is up to code. So it's like your lawn has to be cut and yada, 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 all that bullshit.
My realtor steered me away from HOAs, though. He was like, they still tell you what to do. It's kind of like having a landlord. And I was like, I'm good.
Well, I mean, because they can, like you said, tell you what to do. Excuse me. They can tell you what to do. Yeah. Like, you can't do this. All that kind of stuff. Nobody wants that smoke. Yeah.
And then also,
And they also keep out people like people of color.
Of course. That's all these places do. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, that's what isn't that what Karen, her brother's vendetta against black people was? She's like, you people, you just don't understand. And it's like their family got pushed out during the crack epidemic,
out of the city. Yeah,
and so they were all resentful. And then also her husband got killed by a black vigilante. That's it sounds like it's similar to the DC sniper kind of thing. And so like that just added to her resentment. Mm-hmm. But like we didn't. It was weird because they were trying to say her kids were like still like, liberal and open minded, but it's like you never got an idea of that dynamic. So the kids were just forced in there for these random, really weird scenes.
Yeah, I mean
it was like a mixture between a BET movie and a Lifetime movie, all like in the crossover, and it was uncomfortable.
So
like that, like you were right. Like the husband, I really thought he was trying to fuck that kid.
Yeah,
that was creepy.
Yeah, like even when he gets he gets the ball out of him, and then he's like pushing up on him and shit like that, and the kid's just like it's just like no, I'm just like bro, this ain't it.
It was like Jason Mantzoukas in The Disaster Artist. Like I don't like this.
Yeah, like I was like, bro, this ain't it. This is not it. This is not what you do. But you know what I was getting from this movie? You know what the vibes I was getting, man?
What?
I was thinking to myself, Did Spike Lee have something to do with the making of this film?
No. This is very Spike Lee influenced, especially that end monologue.
Yeah.
With Benjamin Crump, who I guess is an actual like activist or something like that. Dude, when that dude was standing next to them
with
doing
the
a live trumpet, I was like, first of all, it never happens because you're gonna fuck up the audio.
Yeah.
So I was like,
nigga can't even hear anymore.
It was trying to be like Spike Lee, but it was like clearly like they didn't have enough money for posts, so like just do it with him. And I'm like, you literally like you got one microphone. If you're playing the music and he was getting down too. He was like, he was just, I got the soul, and I'm like, you distract him from his powerful words.
Hey, here, fucking Louis Armstrong, get the fuck up out of here. Hey, Satchmo, come on, get out. Go.
That was so crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. But that's why I was watching this. I'm just like, this is Spike Lee written all over it. Obviously, he was inspired, but I know Spike Lee have anything to do with this. But this is the kind of shit that like Spike Lee would do that would drive me fucking wild.
Also, Malik already knows that Karen is clearly a crazy neighbor. Day one, she installs a camera pointing at their house. He knows all this.
Yeah.
Right? There's a ruckus outside. What does he do? Immediately pulls out a gun that's unregistered and goes outside with flashlights. Yeah. With the gun just pointing out. It's like, nigga, you in a new neighborhood. You can't just be, as a black man,
brandishing a weapon.
What are you doing? Like, there's just so many bad decisions made.
Again, there were a lot of things in this movie which were not Negro certified. Because I was watching this shit, I'm just like, black people don't go to investigate. Not outside, we don't. Not outside with a gun, we don't.
Especially in a new neighborhood? Yeah.
In our house, yes. We'll investigate and we'll have that gun ready, cocked, and ready to go. But we will not step outside with that shit because outside harbors white people. And white people, when they see black people, especially with a gun, then other white people show up and they have guns. And that doesn't just pan out well for black folk. Hence not being Negro certified.
All right, Paul Mooney.
Yes, you know what I mean, homeboy. R.I.P.
By the way, okay, they could even get continuity between the sets. Like the exterior shot of the husband and wife when the kid's watching them is a completely different bedroom than what they're actually in when we have the interior shot.
That's true. Even though, so when Karen's like, "Hey, you need to hang up some blinds because my son was watching you," about,
and he was traumatized.
Yeah,
which is crazy. I'm like, no, he's not because he's 17.
That motherfucker was getting the hard on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if trauma went to your dick, yeah, he's extra traumatized. But then they immediately go and stand right by the window after they hung the blinds with the window open, and they're sitting there talking to each other, hugging up on each other and about to kiss.
Yeah, it's like, you know how silhouettes work, right, nigga?
Well, no, the window was open, so you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. The blinds are open, nigga. Like, what are you doing right now? I'll tell you what he was doing. He was giving her one of those big, strong pep talks. Talk about how beautiful and strong and black you are. As a woman, you are queen. I was like, bro, if anybody, if I saw any of my friends talking up their chick like this for no reason at all, just randomly throughout the day, I don't know, I may have to drown him in a bathtub or something like that.
I mean, he's just proud of his wife. It's just terrible at it.
No, this is true. This is true.
I would do that all the time with Tati. I'd be like, hey, she's the apple of my eye. She's the best person. She's the best of all of us. I would do that if people would listen.
So, camera on you, nobody's around. You're going to be like, Tati, you are strong. You are beautiful. And that's why I love you. Well, actually, no. You know what? Because I have to say to Paula, it's just like, yo, you're doing your thing. Like, so it's like, yo, these are the reasons why you're, who you are and da-da-da-da-da. But at the same time, in the way that he was doing it, was sounding like this nigga was trying to give a sermon. And that's why it came off so weird and just disjointed. It's just like, nigga, first of all, you don't mean none of this that you're saying. It's just like, what do you want? Well, first of all, because he wanted some butt, and that's why he was saying all that. At the beginning, the first time when they were standing by the African Zulu the Swahili knives and shit, which those paintings absolutely creepy.
I mean, I knew those knives were going to come back into play.
Oh yeah.
When she stabbed her in the thigh, I was like, all right, at least. But she wouldn't follow through on shit. She finally got the jump on Karen, punching the shit out of her, then grabbed the gun and pistol whip her. So one, she doesn't have a weapon, and two.
Yeah,
kill her.
Kick the gun away.
She's in your house.
Yes, 100%.
She literally broke into your house. Also, I was like, this camera system never works. Like, they never reference the cameras that they have outside their house. And I was like, why do they even have that supply? Or did they not do it because that dude was hitting on her?
Bro, that nigga.
That was crazy. She's like, I'm married.
He's like, I'm married. He's like, me too. That's what I like. I was just like, what the fuck is going on here?
I mean, I get it, shoot your shot, but men are fucking creeps, man.
Yeah, I mean, but you would hope that somebody was better than the way this nigga, because that was savage. That was savage. He acted like he's never seen a woman before. Also,
just because Karen's dead, spoiler alert, everybody, doesn't mean that with Imani as the head of the HOA, that shit's still not racist as fuck. Because that one woman, when Karen first presents like her issues with Malik and Imani, the one woman was like, "Well, African Americans are notoriously low income earners, besides Spanish people." And I was like, "God, damn."
No, this with the exception of Mexicans. Yeah. I was like, "Fuck." So it's like she obviously had a little hate in her heart.
Exactly. That the whole
or just prejudice.
The whole board did. That nigga like dressed up like a Bluto, not Bluto, Blimpie from Popeye and shit. The white dude. He was like, we have to remove you from your post.
Oh, you mean the token gay guy that they had in the film?
Looking like Boo Boo from fucking Yogi Bear. It's a real person. It was crazy. Like some of the outfits in this movie, I'm just like, who did the makeup?
Yeah.
And also, he was supposed to be like a mentor for kids. He never dressed up.
Well, I mean, I think because he's working in the inner city in Atlanta.
Yeah, right? But when you're working in STEM and stuff like that, those men purposely dress up really professional because they want the young people to be ready for the professional world.
True. Because
I've never seen somebody who's like a dean or like a school advocate, especially because he was starting a STEM program. He looked casual all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
Like when you're trying to fundraise and do your shit, like you dress it apart.
I guess part of it could be is just like, being kind of like an advocate for these kids. It's just like, hey, listen, I'm one of you, but I was able to make it out of due to and such and such and such. So he can kind of meet them on their level, and gain trust outside of somebody that's just like, hey, like I'm this unattainable person. I'm wearing a suit. You'll never be one of these. So there's different ways of doing it. But then it's also the fact is you got to realize it's like things are different in New York than it is in Atlanta. And not saying that in Atlanta niggas are backwards and stuff like that. I just think it's the fact is like, it could be kind of a different culture, not culture, because culture, but you know what I'm saying. The vibe of the city may be a little different, and also depending where he's at in the city. You know what I'm saying? But we do need to talk about when they were having the whole conversation about where Karen basically says go back to Africa, which is wild.
Oh, at the housewarming party?
At the housewarming party?
That Jasmine, her character, invited her to after your husband told you she's literally watching us on screens.
Yes.
Not a screen. Multiple screens. She literally is eating popcorn and some of that shit.
Yeah, she was.
When she's watching them, which is just like, how bored are you?
She was like the Maxell commercial, just watching niggas, though. It was being blown back.
Because the shit wasn't even HD and in color. She's just watching black and white scribbled images. Like, you know what? That's insane, Justin.
When they're just like, is like, yeah, and they shot him, da, and they just act like, and they just get off of it. Like, none of that. And the guy just goes, Black Lives Matter. I was like, what is this?
I mean, it was a bold choice for her to wear all white to a all black party, and then she brought a fruitcake.
And nobody touching that fruit.
See, I didn't know the fruitcakes are like kind of seen as like a disrespectful like home gift or something.
Is it?
I don't know. That's what Tati said. She's like, "Oh, your mom brings fruitcakes, and like for Spanish people, that's kind of like, what's a fruitcake?" Sorry, mom.
I didn't know that fruitcakes was a bad thing.
I didn't know either.
I never ate it.
My great grandma always used to like give out fruitcakes as like a Christmas thing, and then we stopped eating them because they had mold in them. But that's a whole other. I think she was trying to kill us. So,
well, I mean, that's disrespectful. You got moldy cake.
I was just very confused. Like the brother kept talking about the brotherhood takes care of its own, but we never actually saw what that brotherhood did.
Yeah. And basically, he was talking like he's in the Klan, right?
Well, yes, that's what it sounded like.
Well, and then also it's like he's in a secret brotherhood.
It's not secret, then, nigga.
Yeah, so it's like if this black fucking activist knows about it, how secret is this thing? It's like that's the last person you want to know.
I mean, they were doing some things that are so cartoonishly villainish. Like when Karen popped up behind that band, and he's like, "Shit, you can't be popping up behind bands." I'm like, this girl's out of her fucking mind. Yeah. She's cuckoo bananas, and no one's stopping her. Mm-hmm. She's a stay-at-home mom. The whole neighborhood should be like, "Yeah, Karen, she's lost her marbles."
Yeah. And she looks like a fucking troll.
I mean, she literally dresses like a troll who like just watches way too many Gap commercials.
Yeah, and put. She kind of looks like
you can see her walking by like a white background, and then it says Gap. Like that's how crazy she looks.
She kind of looks like in this film. She kind of looked like Roger from American Dad when he like wears those weird wigs. That's what she kind of looked like.
It's so disrespectful.
It is disrespectful, but I mean that's what she looked like. The wig and the sweater on Roger, and then you have this character. You have Karen. She looked terrible.
Yeah, I will say that that talk that the brother and Karen have at her house when he's like. First of all, the brother kept coming and going. Like, when he pops up at the restaurant, I was like, what? Why? She's like, oh, I was surprised to see you. Like, is he just walking around restaurants? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And then, like, he's like, he brings his family over to her house, and he's like, yeah, remember our upbringing? Yeah, but this can't stand. We got to get rid of this couple. All right, kids, let's go. She's like, y'all just got there. It was like, it was very Room-esque. There's a lot of elements that remind me of The Room. Like where you could tell someone was trying, but this is god awful.
We've seen some bad movies for this podcast.
We have.
We saw some bad black movies too. This may be one of the worst movies. This may be one of the worst movies made with black people in mind that I've ever seen. Paul and I, we were watching this movie and just glued to the screen at how bad this film is.
I mean, it's so bad that even like the news stories, when they had the breaking news with that one anchor, I'm like, why does this look so bad?
Yeah.
Like, why does it look like almost like purposely bad?
It was almost like, you remember when you played Turtles in Time? Okay. And at the beginning, April O'Neil is on the news, and then Krang comes and snatches up the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Right? It looked like that. Like it was just not good. There was nothing good in here.
Even when, because
everybody looks sick in this movie.
First of all, when Karen's sitting on top of her car trying to make amends, quote unquote, with Amani.
Oh no, she would call hands right
should
there.
have called the cops.
Yes.
Call anyone that's not her fucking brother. First of all, when the brother showed up at the end to try to help Karen, there's no way, even if they tried to like blackmail their bodies and make it seem like they attacked them, there's no way they were going to be able to convince that story because there was already all this investigation happening.
And then the fact is,
like, they were going to go to jail if they didn't get killed.
She was in her house.
Yeah, she purposely broke into her house.
It's just like, there's also, like, the physical evidence is just like, there's no break into forces. It's like, then why is glass broken in the back? Mm-hmm. It's just like, what's going on here? There's no reason that you would be in her house and then she gets shot and then you're... Like that's ridiculous.
Why did they do the weird thing where like they have like the brother comes with a search warrant and arrests the husband because he finds the unregistered gun or whatever? Why did they do like the thing where it was like, yeah, your husband's not at the station. They didn't book him. It's like something weird's going on with the lawyer's like something weird's going on. Meet me at the station, and then the husband's at the station.
Yeah.
I was like, why did they even have that scene? And like that made it seem like they like took him away and like killed him.
Yeah, it made it seem like they took him down to the docks.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was just like, what's going on? Like, because then the brother's at the station running to go to the house with Karen. But I was like, wasn't that the plan though? Like he was, because didn't he said, I'll take care of him. You take care of her.
Brother.
No. Remember, the brother's supposed to take care of the husband, and he was like, you take care of her.
See, now I think something had to be cut, which. Thank God they cut everything in this movie.
This movie's only an hour and a half. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, but I think it was supposed to be longer. So I think that they the brother was supposed to try to kill him, and that cop was going to supposedly stop it. But then they probably didn't realize. All right, so how do we have the brother at the end to tie this whole thing up in a bow? Because
that's exactly what they did.
Because they needed to get that whole thing tied. Because obviously, they weren't going to believe the black woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So they need to have the white savior there to then corroborate the story to make everything good. Mm. And it's like if he saves the brother, then he can't save her.
Yeah. You know
what I'm saying? And then and there can't be another cop that goes there.
Oh, you mean if he saves the husband?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. If he saves the husband, he can't save her. So they probably didn't have enough characters to go around
to save everybody
that were established to go around to make this work. That's the only thing. Because when I was watching, I'm just like, okay, so then what happened to the husband? And he comes out of jail. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was also confused why other neighbors, like, if they really are the first black couple, why other neighbors didn't pop up. And, like, you could at least see, like, if the whole neighborhood's a problem or if it's just Karen, right? Like, they never went into that. Even though Jasmine, her character goes on, because she's a blogger.
Yes.
Even though she's always on, like, Instagram or something like that. And I'm like, that's not blogging. That's...
You're just an influencer.
Influencer, yeah. So I was just like, well, first of all, if she is this popular, she should be calling out Karen every fucking day.
Yeah.
And this neighborhood. Like, it would be big news. Mm-hmm. If she had the following that they claim that she does to be able to afford this house.
Yep.
Right?
But then again, it is Atlanta, so things are the value, the property value isn't as high as you're looking up here.
Yeah, I get it. The cost of living's cheaper, but it's like if she's still making a decent.
Well, yeah, she has to make it enough to actually be able to, afford this place. Even if that house was $400,000, right? That's good money for that area. So like,
yeah, I mean, even with the HOA meeting, they talked about how we're gonna add $100 to everyone's fee to pay for a water park or some shit, and just like, it's that kind of neighborhood, right? Like that's what it's alluding to. So this movie was just so fakata. There was no redeeming qualities about this, except maybe Jasmine Burke's body. But like, I don't want to objectify this beautiful black actress, but she's god awful as an actress.
And we're gonna use the term actress very loosely here because she wasn't good either.
I'll say aspiring actress. I think that's more accurate.
Yeah. This was bad.
Everyone was bad, like across the board. It was almost like they all came to an agreement. And it was like,
he's like, listen, you're not going to be better than me. Don't worry, because I can't be.
Yeah, I mean, I did write down though, like a bunch of times. Oh, they're gonna sue the shit out of the city.
Oh yeah,
like the fact that they let this brother just run amok. Yeah, they're getting all the money.
Well,
that's not even including the Karen stuff. You just go after the police department.
Yeah,
you get his partner to testify. It's over.
But you also got to think about it. What happens to them 2 kids?
I was thinking about that. I was like, are they going to end up adopting these kids? Because, it's all about, there are subplots about trying to have a family and stuff. No, I mean, those kids are orphans.
Yep. Oh, no, but they have a kid at the end.
No, but I meant the neighbor's kids.
Karen's kids. Yeah, Karen's kids. No, yeah. But, like, that's the thing is, like, at the end, then they have kids that are, they eventually get a baby. They stand at the door, and they're sitting there looking out at the camera.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, I mean, there could easily be a sequel where, like, it's about Karen's kids, and now they have their resentment towards black people, and they're living, like, at their aunt's house or some shit. Because this is a family thing, too. It's not like...
Yeah.
There's no way that they haven't had these conversations around their kids and other family members, which then seeds into other young people. Like, it perpetuates the cycle of this hatred that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird because the daughter seemed that she was just obviously a little bit more level-headed.
Yeah, but she also knew her mom troubled.
Yeah, but she was troubled because she knew that her mom was a fucking crazy person.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. And her mom literally came and just get the fuck in the house. What you talking to these niggas? You know
that's gotta be kind of like the Octavia Spencer movie with the daughter when she was like stuck in the house. And Octavia Spencer's just like, I'm the nicest woman ever. Get up to your room and never see the light of day.
Yeah, pretty much. Was that Mom? That wasn't
Mom.
Ma. Yeah.
That movie was wild.
Yes, it was. But so then you have the son. He plays basketball at school. You know what I'm saying? And he warmed, as creepy as that fucking scene was, he warmed up to the husband rather quickly.
Yes.
Malik rather
very quickly. I mean, both kids did.
Yeah. So like, I think, they are not like that, but what about their cousins who are raised by the strong male figure of the brother who is the apex predator of pieces of shit? So like they have to be weirdos. So I imagine when Karen's death and then the brother's dead, those 2 kids would probably go to the brother's to the next of kin, which would probably be the brother's wife. So now they're under the tutelage of that household, and it's like, is the wife also along for the ride of fucking pure hate and racism?
She has to be. I mean,
no, not necessarily.
Well, I mean, let's be.
Hold on. Now, did you hear? So the guy who was part of the Charlottesville kind of bullshit down there, he moved up to Montana, and so he's going on trial and shit like that.
Yeah.
And his wife divorced him, and she put up a GoFundMe. It's like, hey, help me pay for my divorce to get out of this marriage with my husband, because he's a racist neo-Nazi, abusive racist neo-Nazi. So and part of it, I know if it were me, it's just like, nah, bitch, you knew what you were getting into. It's just like, figure it out. But at the same time, if someone's really, there's like, you fall in love with people and you look past shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like, it could be valid. It could be valid. Or is she trying to save herself?
Yeah. That's what happens sometimes too. People be having to change their names and shit like that.
Yeah. Because their husband did some wild shit. And then it's just like, well, I can't be a part of this because it's going to drag down the entire family. I got to get out, and I'm sorry. I just can't take this. I can't take this ride with you. I love those Klan rallies that we went together, but, you know, this is where my stop. This is my stop.
This is how I went.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, this movie was just out of control. I mean, I really hope there's not a sequel just because that third act, the last 10 minutes just thrown together.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, we literally have 2 hours to finish this film, everybody. It doesn't have to make sense. Just throw everybody in the same bedroom and just see what happens.
It's like some guy was sitting in a room. It's like, so, I mean, how are we going to finish the room? Just do anything. The audience is stupid. They won't know.
And we were just like, no, we know what's going on. This is just stupid. This is terrible. We're not stupid.
Bro, like...
You know, Coke Daniels, I imagine their first screening, he's in a private movie theater with the execs of the BET Plus network and streaming app, and he's just like got his fingers together. He's like, oh, shit, they don't know what's about to happen. Ooh-wee. And then he sits up and tries to talk to the people from Quiver Distributions. He's like, oh, man, I can't wait to put this in the movie theater. It's like, nah, nigga, this is going straight to online.
Yeah. This is yeah, here's your $20 and a barbecue sandwich. That's it. That's all you're gonna get.
I really do feel like the budget is probably really, really low for this movie.
Oh, well, I mean, let's check it out.
You know, I mean, there's no information on the budget online.
Really?
Well, that's what happens when you don't do the research before we do the reviews, Justin. You wouldn't know that there's very little information available about this movie right now.
Well, yeah, how about you suck on my balls?
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh. Whoa. Look at this one. On the Daily Beast, Karen director defends his controversial movie. It's a feel-good film. Oh, yeah. That is fucking amazing. This is a feel-good film. You are fucking out of your fucking mind.
Yeah. Actress Taryn Manning said she's been attacked by a white woman over appearing in this movie. I was attacked a lot by white women who felt that I betrayed my own race.
Really?
And currently her Instagram comment section is limited and her Twitter is private.
This is the one? This is the movie that turned white people against her? That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but then again, it's not like these white women do not exist.
True.
You know, so like it's boy.
All right. Well, before we get to our ratings, Justin, I did find 2 10-star ratings on IMDb to share before we graded ourselves. So the first one is 10 out of 10. And the subject title reads, "Great movie. I'm Not an American," by SDS Design. They write, "I felt this movie was a solid 10 out of 10. Why? Because in New Zealand, we are a multicultural society. We have Kiwis born here, white European mainly, Polynesian, and anything that Britain threw at us, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, etc., etc. We have Pacifica people, Samoans, Fijians, Tongans, Cook Islanders, etc. America, on the other hand, seems to be hung up on race. We aren't, and we accept our cultural environment. So looking at the movie, it is clear that Black Lives Matter is a thing that is prevalent. Right from the start when she is washing the Black Lives Matter thing, washed off the road. Okay. I mean, they said they're not American. Hey there. Hello. All lives do matter. But interestingly, this is a movie probably for Americans. And to be honest, when I saw all the 1 out of 10 reviews here, it made me want to watch it. From a non-American perspective, it showed the racism that is in your country, and it's hard to see an end to it. It'd be wonderful if Americans could listen and understand the words from your very own amazing actor, Morgan Freeman. If you want racism to go away, stop talking about it. From my perspective, the movies show what is wrong in America, and sadly, I have no idea how to fix it. Well, I don't think America asked you for how we fix racism in America.
Yeah.
And they probably didn't ask for you to write a 10-star review on this god-awful movie.
And where were they from again?
New Zealand.
New Zealand, yeah. Okay. You stick down in New Zealand and deal with your own shit. Y'all deal with them rolling hills and fucking whatever you're killing down there, because white people kill shit everywhere. So thank you very much, and that's ridiculous. Go on, next one.
Next one is the subject title reads very accurate. It's by I'm Just Saying 51487.
Okay.
And they write, this is too close to home. The condo building I live in is run by a Karen in Columbia, MD. I will watch a second, maybe third time. Chances are the one-star reviews are mad because the Karen phenomenon is exposed. 10 stars. Yeah, man. There's some crazy people in there.
Yeah, bro. Like, that's the thing is, this is not a good movie.
That was wild.
Like, yeah, Karens it's a thing. They're out there, but what you're seeing right here is a terrible depiction of what that really does to real people. Like this is so far-fetched and so far off the reservation that nobody should be able to connect with this film.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Yeah, I will.
Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. So, guys, we rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a movie does not deserve any popcorn, we throw it into the dog shit pile, or we pile piles and copious amounts of dog shit on top of it. So, Brandon, we sat down and we watched the 2021 box office hit, Karen, starring a bunch of people that should never work in film ever again. Brendan, what say you, sir?
Man, this gets 2021 piles of dog shit. This is really bad. This is really, really bad. I mean, I literally have notes, and I feel so bad about this. I'm like, yo, Jasmine Burke is so fucking bad. I mean, like, sexy and also acting-wise. Like, it's just, I'm so conflicted. The fact that, like, in some of these scenes, these motherfuckers were opening with the fact that, hey, not only did this Karen woman harass my client, but she also called her brother, who's a police officer, who keeps telling everyone and their mother, I'm protected by the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Look into that shit. Like, he literally is not being private about it.
Nope.
He's telling everybody, like, we protect our own. What are you talking about? The Brotherhood. Shh. Like, it was so insane. And
you go and say something, you're going to die. I will kill you.
Like I said, that's one of the worst performances of all time.
Yeah.
It's in top 7 at least. It's really, really bad. So, yeah, this is epically bad with dog shit. Justin, what's your rating?
Brandon, I think you already knew when you asked me what my rating was, but this is going to get the dog shit. Mm-hmm. This is going to fall into the dog shit pile. But I'm going to tell you that IMDb, fucking Rotten Tomatoes, if you guys are listening, you want to put down the rating for me and Papa. For Justin in particular, I want to give this 0. I want to give this nothing. This movie was so bad because I know the dog shit would kind of transfer over to like a 1 star. Mm-hmm. This is no stars. I don't know what I can give this for them to realize that I want to give this absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. But just by saying this deserves absolutely nothing. Is it a million piles of dog shit? I don't know. But this should get nothing. Nothing. No stars. Nothing good about this movie. The dialogue was shit. The story was shit. The acting was shit. The way it was filmed was shit. It was just one of the worst piles of dog shit that I've ever seen on film to date. And we've seen some trash films.
Yeah, it was bad. It was worse than a Tyler Perry movie we watched.
Yeah.
With the bad wigs and everything. This is crazy.
This is a movie that I would watch just to make people suffer.
This was crazier than a movie that was filmed in 7 days.
Yeah,
like that Taraji P. Henson.
At least
her performance is filmed in like 7 days. But
yeah,
this is insane that this is way worse than that.
Yeah. This cannot fly. We can't give this. We can't give. I don't want this to have a star. This has to. They have to. This movie needs to be stopped. But at the same time, guys, you should watch it because it's fucking wild.
I say you shouldn't watch it. You listen to this review. This is pain enough.
Bro, you are making people watch The Room. This is worse than The Room.
No, The Room is funny though. The Room is entertaining.
You can laugh at this. Once you get past the trauma, you can laugh at this.
Yeah, but it just did too many things that didn't trigger you, where you got upset. But you're also like, this is such a cartoonish way to get these emotions out of me.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? It was like they talked about some real themes. but the way they executed it was just so insane and like exaggerated that you're just like, okay, well now you took away all the gravity of this situation, and now it's just like what the fuck is going on? Why is this acting so?
I feel you.
Justin, tell the people how they can follow you.
Guys, you can follow me at JBrownDidIt on Twitter and Instagram. Brandon?
Y'all can follow me at American Cons, AmericanCons.com. You can follow the show and Medium Pete Podcast, all social media platforms. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before end of the year. Just go over to that page, click the thumbs up, and you'll be one of our very, very faithful people. And MediaPopcorn.com for all your media popcorn needs. And Justin, if you want to support the show financially, giving us money to support us as we're going to film festivals and you having another baby, how can they do that?
Guys, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn.
Sign up, yo.
That's where you got to be. We have $2, $5, $10, $15 packages for you guys. We got the rant. We got What Am I Watching? We got the Zoom party nights. We have all of our extra bonus episodes. You get them right there on Patreon. The backlogs, it's right there on Patreon. Patreon is where you need to be. But if you decide, you know what, Patreon's just not enough, I'm already on there, maybe I want to do something else to help support the show, I'll tell you what you could do. You could take yourself down to tpublic.com/mediumpopcorn, grab yourself some swag. We got some things up there, so be a part of the army while wearing our shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and y'all, please, sign up for the Patreon. It supports the show. And honestly, if Justin and I were to stop this podcast tomorrow, you would be able to listen to all the bonus shit on Patreon for conservatively, I'd say, at least 2 months.
Yeah.
That's how much content's over there. So rub your nipples together, put some nickels together, and come and join us on the Patreon.
I don't know how you're going to rub your nipples together, but okay.
You just squeeze your chest together.
Boys, Brandon, you don't know how the body works. Guys, thank you. We love you. Watch out for them Karens.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So